Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, brothers and sisters in Islam. Welcome to the Muslim Apologist. I'm your host, MENJ. Today we are joined by a special guest, Claire. So I'm adding her to the stream now. Yes, welcome to the show, Claire.
Hello, sorry, I forgot to unmute myself. Um,
Yeah, I kind of saw that, but I thought, yeah. All right, so yeah, how are you, Claire?
I'm okay. It's not that hot in London compared to Malaysia, I know.
Yeah.
And
I heard that in London you have some sort of heat wave happening right now.
yes, apparently there was some sort of fire which they're going to attribute to climate change, so they can ban
Mm.
barbecues all over London. Just to show us who's in charge, I guess.
Okay. I hope you will just stay safe, right, Claire? Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. All right. So yeah. So anyway, before we begin, I'm going to of course play the channel intro. All right. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Alrighty. All right, let's go. Yep. So that's done. All right.
It's
Okay.
necessary for your brand awareness.
Definitely, that's part of the brand awareness. Of course, yeah. I'm a
Mhm.
I'm a digital marketer, so yeah. So that is the reason why I'm very anal about playing that. I'm very much aware that in order to reach a lot of people, you need to have a sort of brand and you need to have a jingle.
Mhm.
So that default song has become some sort of a jingle for me for the channel as well. So whenever anyone listens to that tune just now,
Mhm.
immediately anyone would identify with the Muslim apology. In fact, my niece, my 3-year-old niece, whenever
Mhm.
she hears that tune being played, she'll say, "Oh, that's my
That's
uncle."
uncle.
Yes, that's my
Oh.
uncle. Yeah, she knows. She knows that is identified with me. So it unconsciously affects you. You see, so that is a good thing. At least for me, in terms of brand awareness, right? So yeah. So I guess today we are going to basically dissect my, I don't know whether to call it unfortunate or fortunate debate with Godless Girl. It was very weird debating with her. Yeah.
Well, I thought she was weird in that she was calling you sir and swearing at you. So I mean, for me, either I'd be swearing at somebody and calling them all the F's and the C words, or I'd be calling them sir and being really polite. So, but she couldn't get it right. Now that was what I thought was so weird about it.
Yeah, that was a really odd discussion, debate,
Yeah, fuck off,
dialogue.
sir.
I don't know what to say. I mean, I had to like literally struggle to contain myself and not fall into her trap and basically insult her back. So
You
it
did
was a
it
huge
very
struggle.
well. You,
It was
you,
a
you
very huge
kept your
struggle. Yeah.
temper and you
Oh
kind of
my god,
explained
you know how
everything.
many
She
times,
said,
there were many times when my temper was boiling to the top, but I just had to hold it down. I think you could probably visibly see me cringe, because I just had to hold my tongue and keep my temper down. Otherwise, I'll just end up mudslinging at her and she'll just mudsling me back and
no,
nothing
no
will come out of it.
moderation
Yeah.
at all from this Amy Newman.
Exactly. I was
They,
I
they
was I
just
was
don't
thinking that too. Yeah.
they don't even know what the role of moderating is. You look at this stream and you think they have really gone down. They don't even know the
Yes.
rules of debate. You know,
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. I mean, I think
and you
the
have to feel
yeah.
sad for them. I mean, but well done for keeping your temper. And whatever she said that was rude,
Yeah.
you just sort of
Yeah.
laughed.
Yeah,
In a
thanks. Yeah, thanks. Thank you
well
very much.
done.
But to be fair to her, after the debate, she actually apologized to me for her behavior, and she said that was normal for her. So I think for her, this
But
whole
I
debate,
saw her.
yeah.
I heard one of her streams with this Jew, and she was doing the same thing. So she wasn't, doing
Mm.
this to you because you were Muslim or anything.
Yeah,
That's how
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought,
I
which
see,
is a
I
bit of
see,
a shame.
I see. Maybe this is just her way of expressing her anger at God for some reason. Okay. So yeah. So anyway, before we begin, I'm going to just share some comments. I think there's this guy waiting. Yeah, I guess your wait is over. um, Salamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. Thank you for joining the stream. Okay, so yeah, so shall we begin?
Yes, please do.
All right. Okay, I'm going to add this to the stream, and yeah. So do you want me to play? By the way, let me know when you want to stop or anything. All right.
Well, I mean, we could just sort of go over a general overview of what you can remember and what I can remember, or you can play the whole thing. You can play the whole thing.
I'll just probably play the her introduction and my introduction, and then we'll talk about what happened after. Because I'm not going to play the whole thing. I don't think I want to play the insults on my channel because you might even get it banned. All right, so I don't
Uh-huh.
want to get a strike because of that. So I'm just going to play her introduction and my introduction, and then we're going to talk about what happened after that, and then yeah, and then we discuss things. Right?
Okay. All
How
right.
about that? Right? Okay. So
Okay.
I'm going to play her. I'm going to play this and let her part go through first,
Okay.
right?
All
Yeah.
right.
Tonight's debate on evidence for God with our debaters, Godless Girl and the Muslim Apologist. And if you enjoy what either of them have to say tonight, our guest links are in the description below. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Godless for their up to 10-minute opening statement. Godless, the floor is all yours.
Oh, I probably won't need 10 minutes, but I've been asked to go first, even though he's the affirmative. I have no problem giving that handicap, though. Well, first of all, he after tearing down my arguments,
I'm
he
going
would
to
have
hand
to
it
put
over.
up his own. Like, really, the default position when it comes to the existence of God is to not believe in God until you have sufficient evidence, which I don't think he's going to come close to providing that.
Do you notice the ad hominem right from the beginning? Hello, Claire.
Yes, sorry. I briefly stepped out of the room, and I'm
Oh, all right.
afraid I missed all that. Could you just
Oh, oh,
repeat it?
oh, all right.
So
Okay, sure. No problem. I'll just repeat that again.
Opening statement. Godless, the floor is all yours.
Oh, I probably won't need 10 minutes, but I've been asked to go first, even though he's the affirmative. I have no problem giving that handicap, though. Well, first of all, he after tearing down my arguments,
I'm
he
going
would
to
have
hand
to
it
put
over.
up his own. Like, really, the default position when it comes to the existence of God is to not believe in God until you have sufficient evidence, which I don't think he's going to come close to providing that.
Right. Do you hear that? Do you catch that?
prejudging the issue,
Yes. Yes.
already
Exactly.
declaring victory before the battle has been fought.
Yes, you know, during the course of the open discussion after the our openings, she keeps saying, "Oh, this fallacy, that's a fallacy. This is wrong. This is that. This is a problem. I don't have to respond to this because this is a fallacy." But right from the beginning, she already committed a fallacy here. Okay, it's like basically
She
she's just
prejudged the issue and declared
yes,
victory before the contest was over.
exactly. I think her mindset was in the wrong place because when you come to debates, you respect the opponent, you listen to the opponent what he has to say, and then you give your views. And you, if you don't agree, of course, you cross-examining him, but you don't say, "Oh, I've won the debate," before the person has spoken, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to continue playing this. Yeah.
And when it comes specifically to his God, there's going to be problems with the properties such as omnipotence. There's the omnipotence paradox. God can't create a stone he's all powerful, but he can't create a stone that's so heavy that he can't lift it, because that would be a contradiction. But I could do that, right? It's logically possible to do that. I could do that, but his God can't do that. Yet his
No, you can't. You can't do that. No one can. Why would anyone want to do that? Why would you want? No, Claire, I just want to ask you one question. Would you create something so heavy that you won't be able to lift it? And for what purpose?
Well, to be fair to her, she is right that saying she could do something that she could make a thing that would be too hard for her to carry, and so if God is omnipotent, why couldn't he? But there
Yeah,
is a difference between why would and why could.
exactly,
How could,
exactly,
why would, and
exactly.
how could.
Yes,
And
exactly,
and
exactly.
I suppose you can ask the next logical question, which is, could God commit suicide? Well, if he's so omnipotent, why wouldn't
Yes,
he?
yes,
That kind
exactly.
of thing.
Yeah,
But
but
the thing
yeah,
is,
yeah,
the answer is, why would he? And
yeah,
and and
yeah,
that
exactly.
is that is a question to throw back at them. Why
Exactly
would
that,
he do
and
such a
that
thing?
is exactly what I did. I threw back at her that question. Why would he? Why would he want to do that? Why would God do something to undermine his own omnipotence? You see, so she couldn't answer that, and she just say, "Oh, it's a fucking fallacy."
Hmm.
Basically, this was what she said, right?
Yeah,
So
but
yeah,
what is a fallacy? You just
yes,
keep getting them to define the words that they throw at you, and in the
exactly,
end, they
yes.
can't define even their own nonsense.
I know. I mean, recalling back what she said. Oh my God, it was quite a it was quite a thing, you know.
Triggering for you, I'm sure.
Yes, yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'll just continue playing this. All right. Yeah.
God is omnipotent, it just doesn't make any sense. It's like gibberish. Then there's going to be problems with the omnipotence and omniscience, like the problem of evil. If God is omniscient, then he desires to stop the evil in the world. And if he is omnipotent, then he can stop the evil in the world. But yet we see evil in the world. So therefore, that God doesn't exist. Um, there's the problem with and when it comes to any god, if you define it as a disembodied mind that created the universe, it's if you take time to begin at the Big Bang, then you can't have a god creating the Big Bang, because that would be having a time before time, which is just gibberish. That's like existing before time. Before is temporal. Another thing is, imagine a world where no gods exist, but people like Muslim apologists just desperately want to believe that they do for various reasons, such as they're afraid of death, whatever. A world in which we know people invent myths, have imaginary friends. Um,
I think that's an ad hominem and maybe even a strawman argument, because I didn't even make such a claim in the first place, right? So
Yeah, and she also made a point about, the whole thing is that God is supposed to be eternal, and if he is
yeah,
eternal, then he would exist before the universe even existed, considering
yeah,
he created it, and he will be
yes,
there
that's right,
after the
that's
universe
right,
is gone.
that's right.
That's the point.
Actually, I wanted to address that during the argument, but during the open discussion, but I ended up not doing it because I realized that it was pointless to prolong the the suffering. So, but what I could say here is that I was going to say that God
Who's
exists.
suffering? Who's suffering? You're suffering,
M-
or
my
the
my
audience?
suffering, my suffering, and
Okay,
the audience's suffering. Okay, because she
the,
was
the
just f
audience love
bombing me.
shit shows. They just want to hear
Maybe they
people
do,
shouting at
but
each other.
I just don't like her, going effing going
Yeah,
using the
yeah,
F word in a debate. You see, so basically,
yeah.
what I wanted to actually address that point, in saying that God exists beyond the scope of time and space. Okay, because that is why the Big Bang is the Big Bang is the starting point for time and space, and in order for the Big Bang to happen, if there is a God, then God must exist before or outside the temporal space of the Big Bang. So God is
Mm,
outside the time or space, and
mm.
therefore God is not subject to what she was saying. That was what I was going to say, but I like I said, I just didn't want to go through another shitstorm of f bombs. So that is why I purposely did not address this. Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay. So anyway, I'll continue playing this again. Right. Yeah.
lie to each other and lie to themselves. We know from psychology that people tend to believe what they want to believe and what they expect to be true. And now tell me, why the fuck do you think we're not in that world? Like, what observation
See, right from the beginning, there's another f bomb.
Mm.
Okay, I'll just play it again. Yeah.
are you making in this world that makes you think we're not in that world? Because that's the world that this world appears exactly to be that world to me. Open mic.
Woohoo! Thank you so very much, Godless. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to you, Muslim apologist, for your up to 10-minute opening statement.
Okay, so before we focus on my opening statement, maybe you would like to summarize what she said, and what are your thoughts on it?
Off the top of my head, she said that Oh, I don't even know what she said. She's just saying God is a kind of miscellaneous file to it to explain all the things that we don't know, and therefore, if we don't know, we know somebody who loves us and who does, and that it's God, which
Yeah.
obviously she thinks is pretty stupid. I mean, that was also my view once upon a time,
Yeah. Yeah. I
and
think you do claim to be an agnostic, don't you? By the way, Claire.
yes, so I have to see things from both points of view.
Understood. Understood. Understood.
Mhm.
Yes. I mean, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Okay. So anyway,
Mhm.
okay. So you want to continue with my opening statement?
Yes, please.
All right. Okay. Sure. Thank you, Amy. Yes. Thank you, Godless, for that opening. So I begin with a short dua. Islamic greetings. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Peace and blessings be upon you. Rabbi shrahli sadri wa yassirli amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. So that is a short prayer from the dua, the prayer, the dua of Musa alayhi salam, Moses in the Quran. Okay, when he faced Fir'aun or the Pharaoh. So basically, today we're going to talk about my position on why I believe, in the existence of God. So for the purpose of this introduction, I won't be, touching on the points that Godless has presented. We will just leave that for the open discussion. All right. So basically, we need to begin. How does Islam define God? Oh, by the way, if you want me to stop in the middle so that you want to comment on whatever I said, please feel free to interrupt me. All right, Claire?
Oh, yes, yes. Okay.
Okay, all right. Okay, so I'm going to continue playing. All right.
Yes.
So this is actually encapsulated in a very short surah, Surah Al-Ikhlas. Um, Basically, the verse goes, Kul huwa Allahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid walam yulad, walam yakullahu kufuwan ahad. So to translate that, it means God is one, God the eternal, absolute. He neither begets, nor is he begotten, and there is none like unto him. So based on the principle that this verse, this surah has given us, we can definitely define God as God is not deism. It's not understood as how deists would understood God, an impersonal being which has no conscious, which has no intelligence. God is definitely not a trion. Okay, God does not divide itself into three parts. God is not a schizophrenic. God is not polytheism. God does not, God. There's no multiple gods. There's only one God. Okay, that is how Islam defines God. Okay, so now that we have understood how Islam defines God, let us go. Let us now go to my reasons as to why I believe there is a God. So first of all, there is this principle called, or this innate uh, understanding of in the human being called religio naturalis. Okay, the natural inclination of man to worship the one supreme being. Okay, this is evident in the human psyche. You can't actually, deny this unless you want to suppress it. Yes, but you can't deny that this inclination to worship something which is bigger than you, which is higher, that is supreme than you, exists in you as a human being. So scientists would call this the God gene, right? So that's my first point. The second point would be, if you look at the world, the creation, you always realize there's always a cause and effect. Okay, something can never exist from nothing. Okay, something cannot exist in a vacuum and just simply pop up out of thin air, right? So there's always something that will be caused by something else, right? So you can't just simply say that this tin, for example, magically appears out of nowhere without a creator. So this is why I believe that this world, this beautiful world that we live in, this air that we breathe and so on, must have a cause, must have a supreme cause to this existence, right? And then we have the next point, which is design, okay, related to the earlier point. So, this tin, this beautiful tin, with all these designs and these colors and its logo, has someone designing it. I mean, it's not going to just appear out of thin air, right? So
Mhm.
likewise, if you look at creation, you see the trees, you see the sky, you see the earth, you see the sun, the planets, the orbit of planets, the laws of gravity, etc. This can't just simply exist out of nothing without an intelligent supreme being determining and controlling everything. Okay, so this is why I believe that there has to be a supreme being which basically designed the whole universe. And then we also go into morality and ethics. Okay, so how do we define what is murder, what is rape, what is arson? Okay, I mean, as human beings, we are always subject to emotion and we are incapable of being objective. So who is the supreme arbitrator to define what is moral, what is not? Okay, at what point did moral objectiveness values arise? So this is something which non-theists should answer, because atheism for me doesn't resolve this question. Okay. So my last point, okay, just because I'm just summarizing it to 5 points. So this is the fifth and last point. Human reasoning. Okay. So without God, okay, there will be no explanation for human reason, for human free will. Okay. So where does the human reason arise? Okay. The fact that we are here shows that, you know, we don't just simply, appear out of nowhere, right? So reasoning has to be, has to come from a single source. I mean, you don't just if you look at, creatures, for example, they don't come with reason. Okay, but only humans have reason. Why is that? Okay, so the absence of God does not explain this. So in conclusion, the burden is of proof to determine whether God exists or not. Where to deny God's existence is actually upon the atheists or the non-theists, because they need to show strong evidence, apart from, appealing to emotionalism, that God does not exist. And with that, I end my intro. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I guess we are done there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So what do you think of it?
Well, just to it's just a commentary about your prayer. I know maybe you do it for yourself, but it would just irritate them. Really, just really. But maybe that was your intention, to irritate them.
Not
Or not.
really, but I just wanted to instill confidence into myself, because it's a practice that I often do to just basically calm the nerves. Okay, so basically the
Yes.
prayer is, Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. I mean, this is something I've been reciting since I was in primary. So
Mhm,
it
mhm.
goes that far. So we were taught this as Muslims. We were actually taught this prayer since very small, very young.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
it's not something
It's like the
alien.
Lord's Prayer for Christians and that kind of thing, which they recite in
Um,
times of distress, maybe.
yeah, I'm not sure about the Christians, but for Muslims, we are actually taught to say this when whenever you face an exam, or whether you are facing
Mhm.
some sort of test or some sort of competition, then you recite this. Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
and it's derived from the Quran. Yeah, basically
Yes.
it's basically a verse from the Quran which
Which
we take.
verse is it?
I don't recall the verse, but this was a verse where when the story of Moses in the Quran, when Moses was praying to God to give him confidence in order to face the Pharaoh. Yeah, because we know that Moses was born with a defect on his
Stutter.
tongue. On Yeah, it's a
Mhm.
stutter. Yeah, so this is basically a Jewish tradition which Islam also shares. We know that Moses doesn't speak well. So okay, so that is why Moses made this prayer to basically the dua, the prayer, that the verse that I recited means, oh Lord, straighten my tongue, give me confidence, give me strength in order to to appeal.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, I don't recall the exact translation. I could look it
Mhm.
up, but basically it's to inspire confidence and to straighten Moses' tongue, okay, in order to
Right.
speak fluently. Yeah, so basically that's
Yes.
what it means. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And um, I suppose if you were confident enough, you would just use the most of your 10 minutes and just say and somehow address the points that she raised. in her opening speech, and one that I can remember
Well,
is
I didn't want to do that because that's actually against a debate convention. Because when you do an opening statement, you don't use that to rebut the opponent yet. You do that only after the crossover, right? Basically, the opening statement is just to present your position, and the
yeah,
opponent is also supposed to present his or her position without rebutting the other side first. And then once that opening statements are over, only then you start the basically the
yes.
rebuttals and so on, right? So I wanted
Yes.
to conform to
Yes,
that
yes, I see that you're right, but I suppose it was, just to make the most of the time to get at her. But anyway, and I'm afraid, yes, I'm guilty of proposing to break
Nah,
rules.
nah,
So,
it's
and
okay. Yeah,
I'm very
it's okay.
speaking for the rules, so
Nah,
I have kind
nah.
of put my
No,
foot
it's
in my
okay. It's
mouth.
okay because I know for a fact that some debaters actually take the opportunity to rebut, but that's actually wrong, in a debating
Yeah,
convention. And yeah, in fact, I think
more
the
cricket.
debate with T Jam, I think he used his opening statement to actually rebut me. Yeah, yeah,
Yes, yes,
and
and
James
so
didn't do
did
any.
she. So did she, by
Yeah,
prejudging
yeah,
the issue and all that.
yeah,
And
yeah. That's
and
right.
I
That's
suppose
right.
the thing is that you have to talk as if you are talking to the audience. You're not going to
Yes,
convince your opponent because they'll never concede and
exactly,
because
exactly,
they hate you. So
exactly.
so
Yes,
so the best thing to do is really to
that
say
is
whatever you need to
yeah,
say in the
yeah.
shortest, most memorable way. And
Yes,
and um,
yes.
and,
That is
and I
actually
think.
what I did. Actually, that's what I
Mhm,
did. I mean, the reason why I gave all these 5 points was not to convince her. Was to appeal to the audience. I was
mhm.
actually addressing the audience. In fact, yeah, that was my intention. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, and then you went on to say that God is not impersonal, and he's not more
Yes.
than one,
Yes.
and
Yes. That is
um,
why I made the intro, regarding the Islamic position regarding God. Because if I wanted to like focus on her alone, then I wouldn't need to make the statement about the Islamic version of God, as in God is not deism, God is not polytheism, and God is not a triune. See, I don't need to mention those, but because I wanted to address the audience, that is why I made that short introduction.
mhm,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
yes,
that was my intention right from the beginning. Yeah, and I actually reiterated that many many times during the f bombs and the insults that she made against me. That I wasn't there to win or lose anything. You see, I was
mhm,
there just to present the Islamic position,
mhm,
and yeah, and basically she can go fuck herself if she doesn't believe it. But I didn't use the f word. You see.
mhm, mhm, yes,
So yes, right. So yeah, I mean I'm a different person in my on my own channel, you see. So on the debate I try to be civil, you see. Yeah,
you're on best behavior.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, exactly, yeah. So yeah, that's right. So yeah, before you want to continue further, but before we do, maybe you would like to give me the time to share some of the comments here.
Um, yes. I just have one little point to make about
Okay, sure,
the
sure.
points that you raised, which was
Yeah,
about God being higher than humanity, and then
yes,
we
yes,
all have
sure,
this
sure.
God being that we want to believe in, and
Yes,
cause and effect, who caused the Big Bang, and then the
yes,
logical position of nothing can come out of nothing, so
yes,
that something must be God, from
yes,
which emerged a universe,
yes,
your intelligent design argument, and the extra point that I would like to bring up is a burden of proof, because really, a lot of legal cases depend who, on which party the burden of proof, rests, because, as you
yes.
know, in criminal cases, it is not up to the defendant to prove that
Yeah,
he is
it is the
innocent. It is up
prosecutor.
to the
Yes, it's the
defendant,
prosecutor.
the
Yes,
prosecution, to prove that he is
yes,
guilty
that's
beyond
right.
reasonable doubt.
That's
And
right.
otherwise, we would all be guilty of everything unless we have, an alibi or something.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, the reason why I allow her to go first because I just wanted to know her position on
Mhm.
because I learned from my mistake with T Jam. I allowed myself to go first with him, and I got sidetracked by his arguments, and that is why I learned from that lesson. And from this point onwards, from that point onwards, actually, I'm going to just let my opponent speak first. Okay, so that at least at the very least, I get an idea of where their Wetenschaung, what their Wetenschaung is and where they're coming from. And her going first actually helped me understand where she's coming from, and That is why that is why I was able to actually counter some of her points, because I already
Mhm.
knew the answers to her both of her positions. Okay, basically she was talking about the problem, the rock problem. Can God lift a rock or a stone so heavy that God is unable to lift it? And the
Mhm.
second problem was the problem of evil. Why, if God is omnibenevolent and all good, why is there so much evil in this world? And this both these so-called problems have an Islamic answer. You see,
Mhm.
and yeah, and I gave that answer during the cross examination, but it just ended up in f bombs from her side. So
I can't actually, to be honest, I can't remember what your answer to the problem of evil, which
evil.
is
Oh,
another word is theodicy, isn't it? The
oh,
formal
okay.
word.
So, all right. So basically, my answer to that was life is a test, and in Islam we believe that we are accountable for our actions, and in the hereafter we will be coming before God.
Okay,
Therefore,
life is an examination hall,
yes,
and
yes, exactly. And the purpose of us being here on earth is to know and worship the Creator. But in order to know and worship the Creator, God must know that we are sincere. So of course, God will want to test us. And that is why during this course of this test, of course, there will be pain, suffering, problems, etc. You see?
Mhm.
So the problem of evil is not really a problem at all, because life is not meant to be everlasting and all good. Life that is because it's a test. It's basically one huge test, and of course we're going to be facing trials and tribulations. So that is why during the towards the end of the cross examination, I asked her directly what is her position on life after death. And at first she was rude to me. She was saying, "Oh, are you going to create another straw man?" No, I wasn't. I was just wanting to inquire as to her position. But then she considered and admitted that she doesn't believe in the hereafter. And I think that is where her problem is, because she thinks that life is just one continuous line, and when she dies it ends there. You see?
Which is
Yeah.
why these atheists cannot are so easy to control. You can
Yeah.
control them like cattle. You bribe
Yeah.
them or you threaten them. They always give
Yes.
in because they're
Yes.
easily,
Yes.
intimidated
Yes.
because
That's
they
right.
have no principles
Yes.
and they don't
Exactly.
believe in the
Exactly.
afterlife. That is
Exactly.
their
So
problem. They
that
will
that is
always.
actually, that is actually her problem, because she didn't doesn't believe in the afterlife, and that is why she has this problem with the problem of evil. Okay, so that's actually precisely the problem. But when I told her this, she said, "Oh, you are just making a fallacy, you f, and you clown, and you this and you that," and then it went downhill after. So that is
Mm.
why I just like, I was like, my God, why am I wasting my time with her? But then
No,
I always
I
kept,
think you're doing very well, debating people like Teacher, but you show how corrupt their methods of debating are. We
I
learned
hope
all
so.
these rules of
I hope
debate from
so.
them,
I
and they've
hope so.
forgotten all of it. They've forgotten all their
Yeah.
rules that
I
they made
mean,
themselves.
they're
I,
just plain,
I
they are
don't
just plain rude.
admit
They think that they are actually quite, in their heart, they are actually quite arrogant. They think that they have the higher ground, so to speak, and they're not willing to listen. So that is why they have this holier than thou attitude. They accuse theists of having this attitude when it is they themselves who should be looking in the mirror. You see, at least that's
Yeah,
my point of view. Yeah.
yes, yes. I mean, they've forgotten all about the rules of debate. They don't even know it because their schools don't even conduct debates because they're too scared to. You know.
Exactly. So, so I mean, there's little left to be said, right?
Mhm.
With this kind of people, right? So anyway, can I like share some of the comments here? Yeah.
Oh, please.
Okay. All right. So there's this one guy here. Will you be willing to debate Christianity versus Islam? I guess so, but it depends on what topic would you like to propose. Okay, you can actually take a look at all my previous debates that I have with Christians, okay, on this channel even, right? So let me see. That woman, is the moderator a man? I wasn't sure whether Amy was a she or a he, by the way.
she's a transgender Jewess, and I've
Oh,
been on the
yes,
channel but,
I
until they
see.
kicked me off for being too, I don't know.
I see.
They didn't like
I
what I
think
said.
this is what, yes, this is what you answered. Right? I mean, this is actually this is the first time I know of this. Okay, I didn't expect that. I mean, I kind of I suspected it, but I just treated her as a woman, regardless him as a woman. Okay, so yeah. So
She's
anyway,
been on EF Dawa, by the way.
oh,
I mean,
I
and you
don't
knew
really
that.
watch. I haven't really watched followed EF
Mm,
Dakwah for some time, so I wouldn't know. Okay, so
mm.
yeah. Let me see now. Just another comment here. Let me guess. She's going to ask who made God, and after that, she's going to talk about allegedly useless organs. No, she didn't talk about the organs. But she just, I think she just went into, if I recall correctly, she just went into f bombs and insults and basically accusing me of making fallacies left and right. So I'm not going to play that. I'm not going to play the open dialogue because it was just a mess. Okay, it was just a mess. It was a struggle for me to keep calm and check my temper while listening to her tirade. Right. So it was a struggle. It was a struggle. Right. Oh my god. Okay. So yeah. I think it will be better if you present your arguments as a premise and conclusion so that it will be more clear. Well, in the opening debate, you're supposed to make premises. You're not supposed to make any conclusions until the closing of the debate, which was what I did. Okay. So basically, the point of the opening debate was to present your position. Okay. And the opposing team is supposed to do the same, and after that only then do you cross examine and question each other. But sometimes the convention is not followed, you see. But I did try to do that. I try very hard to follow the convention, right? So Claire, maybe you have a few words to say.
Um, no, not at the moment.
Okay, all right. So I guess do you want do probably perhaps you want to conclude this? I don't know, maybe.
I suppose what I'm trying to say is really to engage the these militant atheists. You really have to sell Islam as a political manifesto, because all these logical arguments, they don't really work, because so many people reject logic. If they don't like what the logic says, if
Yes,
if
yes,
there are more people who are being illogical than you are being logical, they'll think
yes,
they've won, because there are more
exactly,
stupid people
exactly,
than there are clever people. So
exactly.
somehow you have to appeal to their personal interests. So
Yes,
so
that's right.
it's like we know these people, they hate their government,
Yes,
and
yes,
and
that's right.
and
That's
and
right.
and, and that is why they hate Muslims, they hate Jews, because they hate their government, and they some it's just a swirl of hatred
Yep,
and
yep,
emotion, and and
exactly.
and we can sort them. We can explain it to them if they want to listen, but
Yes,
basically, you're just target practice for them, and
yeah.
um, and so the Jehovah's Witnesses are quite good. It's like they always invite you to engage with them by inviting
Okay.
you to complain about your government, and then they say, if you
Yep.
believe in God, it's all going to be sorted out. And this is basically the argument for Islam, isn't it? It's like, well, we've got this Sharia, we're going to sort out all your problems with the Sharia.
It is part of the argument. Yes, I would agree with you. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that I think, it could be the way forward, because why are they so full of hatred? Why are they so
Yeah.
demented? Really, they are. But I mean, they hate their government so much that they think Jews are responsible for Muslim immigration. You know,
Hmm.
and
That's yeah.
therefore they hate the Abrahamic God, and they will go to back to worshipping their Nordic pantheon.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's
Exactly.
how crazy and stupid they have become.
Yeah. Yes. This right wing folk always have very I mean, even atheists are in a way right wing as well. So
Yeah,
this
yeah,
happens.
and so they blame it on Jews. They hate Christianity because it's so stupid.
Yeah.
They obviously hate Muslims. They think Jews have a privileged position because they are protected under, the anti-discrimination
Yeah.
legislation, and therefore Jews rule the world. And more importantly, Jews created Islam, created
My
Christianity,
God. Okay.
made the stupid goyim worship Jesus, who is a Jew, and are laughing at their stupidity. And
Yeah.
now they've got then the Jews sent the Muslims in to torture them. That is basically their worldview, and the hatred.
Such a perverted worldview, right? Yeah.
Well,
So
yeah,
yeah.
can you prove them
Yeah.
wrong? Because it is true that Jews created Christianity, and Jesus was a Jew. I mean, Paul was a Jew, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
sometimes people, Islam refers back to the Torah and
Yep.
respects Jesus. It's like it all hangs together. It's a
Yes.
conspiracy
That's
against
right.
these poor white Europeans who are now completely lost.
Exactly. Exactly. So I was wondering, maybe do you want me to play the conclusion of the debate,
Sure.
the conclusion part? I don't remember which minute it was. I don't want to go through all the f bombs. Okay, let me see if I can find
I
it.
think that's what people want to listen to.
Oh my God.
You
Okay,
know.
wait. Let me see
Yeah,
if
I
I
mean,
can
just
find
to
it.
show what you have to put up with, and
Okay.
and, and, and how kind of degenerate and demented they are now. That they
All
think it's
right.
an acceptable way of talking to people when
Yeah.
they're
Okay.
discussing
Okay.
theology.
Okay. Maybe I can do that. Wait, let me see if I can find it. Okay. Okay. Let me see if I can find it.
Do you remember?
Which I gave the definition of God as understood in Islam. Okay, this is not yet. Okay, let me go forward. Okay, wait, let me see. I think this part. Let me see.
You would want to bring about the best possible world, right?
Life on Earth is not meant to be permanent. Hence, why we go through these evils, these
You're not
problems.
addressing what I'm
Exactly.
saying, sir.
Yeah, you're not
If you're
understanding what I'm
infinitely
saying.
good, then you
Okay.
would want to bring about the world that's the best one, right?
Oh my God. Okay, I think I'm going to have to reverse that a bit. I'm sorry. You need to understand this from the Islamic perspective, because you're not getting it.
Sir,
Right? I'm sorry.
why can't you answer a fucking
You're not
goddamn
getting it.
question?
You're absolutely not getting it. Okay, I need to
No, you're not getting it,
reverse it.
sir.
Oh my God! You see how rude she was when I tried to explain things. Whew, my God, she's really a handful. I don't, honestly, I admire myself at the moment, because I don't know how I could be so patient at that time.
You sounded so serene and calm. I mean, really.
um, I think if there were a repeat of this right now, I wouldn't be so calm like that. Okay, I'll probably
Then
be.
you wouldn't come off so well.
Perhaps, but I'm just a human being. I'm not a robot. You see, if someone is to, attack me with such f words and all, I mean, who wouldn't retaliate, right? I mean, I'm an emotional being. You see,
I suppose you
so
could have said to Amy Newman, is this how atheists debate, with swear words and
it never did cross
insults?
my mind. I don't know why, but it never did cross my mind to appeal to Amy or to point out, why atheists debate this way. You see, because like I said, my intention right from the beginning, right before I even entered this debate, was to appeal to the audience. So the
Yes,
audience was always at the foremost of my mind. So that is
yes.
why I was struggling so hard to remain calm, because I know the audience is watching. You see, yeah, the audience was actually keeping me in check. You see, yeah, in a
Mhm.
way, okay. So okay, let me see now if I can go to the conclusion.
YouTube Godless Girl. That it'll be up in a
Oh
few
my God.
days. You're gonna look
Yeah,
like a
go ahead.
clown. You're a clown,
Yeah,
sir. You're a fucking
Speaking
yeah, go
clown.
ahead.
of
Go ahead.
which,
Go ahead.
when
Up
you
to you.
two are feel like you've done
Okay, I
questioning
think
each
yeah,
other,
I think this is the part, all right?
we will move into closing statements and then the Q&A.
Yep.
So if you feel like you've gotten your
Yeah.
points through,
I don't think
So
I
he did
got through
say
to her,
that,
but
and
it's
I
okay.
just want to. Well, what we're doing our closing statements? Yeah, we can do our closing
well,
statements.
that
Sure,
sounds fantastic. In that case, let's not only have a closing statement, but tell us what you got going on in the interwebs.
What's that? What's the interval?
Oh, as in, what do you feel free to shill? What is your channel? What you got going on to share for people to go to? Anything you would like. The closing statement, the floor is yours if you would like, Alice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so what happened at the very end there was when he said yes, God can be wrong. He not only failed during this debate to defend there being evidence for God, but he even at the very end abandoned his own theology because
My God, when did I ever abandon my theology? That's the thing. She's making baseless accusations here. I mean, did I ever consider the debate, or did I ever say that God is not
Well, you,
omnipotent
you
or
should have said
omniscient?
that, I guess.
Yeah. But I think I did answer her in my closing statement. So never mind. Let's just listen to her. All right. Okay.
Yes,
he was
yes.
so beaten down by me, denying God's omniscience. So what happened here tonight is I destroyed all this. The baby's crying.
Oh, the baby's crying.
Baby's crying. Oh my
did,
God,
did
there's a
did the
mother.
did the baby hear you swear? Is that the child that you want to to have the baby listening to you swearing, and when he or she grows up, the baby starts swearing like you? I should have said something like that. Okay, but never mind.
What a
Okay,
shocker.
yeah, it is a shocker. Okay, never mind. Let's continue playing.
Okay. Sorry. I destroyed all of his supposed arguments. They weren't even arguments, they were mostly just claims, but I did show the error in reasoning.
No, you didn't.
And then I put up all my own arguments, and he was just like, "Oh, let's like." I defeated him on it with every one because he just kept being like, "Oh, let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to the next one." Like on
Oh my
every,
God.
you were humiliated and destroyed on every single thing tonight. All the supposed evidence you
Was I?
presented and all of my arguments, I won each of those little battles. I won every one of them.
My
And he,
God. My God, she's claiming victory.
The way T Jump does.
Yeah, exactly,
They
exactly. I mean,
insult you, they mute
it's the
you, and then
is
they
the
claim
same
victory.
it's the same arrogant attitude that I noticed that some of these militant atheists have. Once they think that they won, they just say, "Oh, I've won, I've victory. God doesn't exist because I defeated your argument." I mean, does that even
Mm,
prove anything?
mm.
You see. So anyway, okay, I'm
It's
going to
childish.
continue this. Yeah, it is childish actually. Yeah.
oh, I just gotta put the puzzles, put all my logical fallacies together into a big puzzle, and then you'll get God. And what do I got going on my channel? I didn't post anything for a year. I just recently started posting videos again. Clubhouse is a terrible, awful platform, but that's where I've been because that's where my friends are on the internet. So that's where you can find me in active and voice chat.
Are you on Clubhouse?
I have a Clubhouse account, but I'm not active on Clubhouse.
Is she right about it being a terrible place? I mean, I haven't tried it there, so I don't
I
know.
don't know. To be honest, I have never actually been on Clubhouse. To be honest, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, yeah. Anyway, let's finish up. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Woohoo! Thank you so
The
very
link to my
much.
YouTube channel is in the description. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's right. The link to Godless Girls YouTube is in the description below, and it's great to have you back on Modern Day Debate. And all right, before we get into the Q&A, the Muslim Apologist, what you got going on, and what are your final thoughts?
Well, to summarize this discussion, unfortunately, I think Godless didn't quite get the philosophical side, the Islamic position on many things, because she's looking at it from the lenses of the Western liberal secular philosophy position. So of course she has this idea that whatever that happens on earth, for example, like the problem of evil, trials and tribulations affecting God's all good, all omnipotent, all omnibenevolent. Okay, so that is for me that's a fallacy in itself from the lenses of an Islamic perspective. Okay, also she did not address the question as to whether creation appears out of nowhere. I mean, why did creation, why a tree is a tree if there's nothing, if there's no one, there's no power which caused the tree to exist. So she did not address this. All she did is this logical fallacy, logical fallacy that. This is a problem, that is a problem. I mean, she did not answer the question. For me, it's more. I mean, maybe it's because of her uh, weapon show, her worldview, which causes her to say this, and I excuse her for that, and I forgive her for that. Okay, and well, there are many things which I
Yeah,
actually I was being a bit sarcastic there, right?
no,
Right, yeah, that's right, yeah. I mean, I had to take the chance to make a dig at her anyway, right? So okay, let me finish it up, all right? I explain, like for example, the concept of religio naturalis, the concept, the innate understanding of God. Yeah, she just dismisses this. Okay, she just says that this is a fallacy. I mean, without explaining why is it a fallacy. Okay, so for me, this is an well, if you want to play fallacy, then I would say that's an appeal to emotionalism. But I'm not going to do that. I don't come here to win or lose. She keeps boasting, oh, I've won, you, me, meaning me, have not answered any of my questions. That's what because she comes here with the mindset to win. I don't come here with the mindset to defeat or to bash down the opponent. No, that's not my intention at all. My presence here is to present the Islamic position, my position as a Muslim, as to the existence evidence for the existence of God. Whether you want to accept it or not, that is up to you. Okay, that is totally your choice. That is part of your free will. So anyway, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Thank you, Godless, for having me. Thank you, Amy. And my channel is the Muslim Apologist. Okay, I'm wearing a logo of my channel. Okay, you can see that. That's the logo. Okay, so I hope that you will come to the channel and hope to see you again. Thank you very much. Yep. And with that, yeah, that's pretty much how I ended the debate. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know whether I could call it even a debate or a discussion because it was. I mean, if from I think from an audience point of view, they got their entertainment and perhaps maybe they. I mean, I managed to send across something to them, but where where my communication with Godless is concerned, I don't think that went anywhere.
well, maybe the most interesting bit would be your free conversation with her, because that is kind of more thinking on your feet kind of thing. But I know you want to finish up.
You
But
really want to? Do you really want to hear her f bombing at every second?
well, because I imagine that would be the hardest point for you. You would be under pressure
Okay.
because you would be irritated, well,
Yes,
annoyed,
yes. I
insulted.
was irritated. Let's be honest. I was irritated, but I just had to
Mm,
keep it in check. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not a robot, right? I mean, it's normal, right? I mean,
yeah,
how will you not be irritated with such behavior, right? So okay, never mind. Okay, I think I'll concede to your suggestion, and let's play a bit of what she said to me, right? Just
yeah, yeah. I think it
I
would be
think
worthwhile.
I think just a few seconds will be fine, right? Maybe 30
Mhm.
seconds of it. Yeah, right. Okay.
Or just an
That'd be
Sure, sure.
exchange that reflected, that was about something. I think
Yeah,
just
yeah.
about
I'm
one
just I'm
subject,
just
maybe.
random I'm just randomly playing that part, right? Okay, so let's see
Okay.
what happens. All right, yeah.
Since and the
Oops.
You
Oh
might
my.
be asking yourself,
Oops. Okay, there's an advertisement. I'm sorry. Okay. Let me just. Oops. Okay, let's play this. Yeah. So basically, what we have talked about just now was the stone argument. For me, that is basically the proposition that God can create. I mean, it goes against the idea of omnipotence. Okay, because you can't say that something will create something so impossible for Him to do that he or
no,
it
sir,
cannot do it.
I
Right?
already destroyed you about the
That's
omnipotence
illogical.
paradox. I'm talking about something
I don't think
else.
you did. I don't think you did. Okay, but
I'm
no,
talking.
I'm
You want to
just.
still talk about the omnipotence paradox?
Excuse me, please let me finish. All right. Okay. So we talk about that. So now we're going to talk about the problem of evil. So you
Yeah.
say that your argument is basically why is there evil in the world to the point that God
No,
didn't
my
do
argument
anything
was
to
not a
stop it.
question. I gave a syllogism in the beginning.
So maybe you would like to elaborate on the problem of evil.
Look,
So
if God
maybe
is
you can.
both omniscient and, or I'm sorry, omnibenevolent and omnipotent, all powerful and all good, he would have the desire to stop evil, and he
Yes.
would have the
Problem of evil.
power to stop evil. So we
Mm.
wouldn't have evil, but
Yes.
yet we do have evil. Therefore,
Yes.
an omnipotent, omnibenevolent God does not exist.
Yes. It's the problem of evil. So basically, you're appealing to the idea that the world must be a peaceful place without any problems, without any chaos, without any the difficulties that we go through. You see that the problem with this basic issue of problem of evil is that this is not a problem in Islam. Okay, in Islam we believe that we human beings are here on earth. The life on earth itself is a test. Okay,
Yes.
life is not permanent. In the end everyone's going to die, and we will be judged before Almighty God. So whatever difficulty or whatever evil or whatever problem that we face on earth, it's all a test. It's part of the test from God to determine as to whether we are truly sincere in bowing down to the one true God. Because basically what it means is that um there's God wants us, okay, to recognize him. Our purpose on earth is to know and recognize him and to worship him. This is basically the Muslim position. Okay. So the problem of evil does not even factor in to the Muslim mind. Okay, this may be a problem to those from other faiths, but in Islam we don't have this problem, because we know that our purpose on earth is to go through the trials and tribulations of life, in order that when we come before the one true God, we will be able to justify ourselves before him. So that's basically the point of evil as we understand it. Okay, so that is my position.
Okay, you didn't address anything I said. You believe that God's omnibenevolent, right?
What?
I
I
don't
just
see how this
explain it.
this have anything to do with God's attributes itself, because God
Do you know what
purposefully sent us to
omnibenevolent
earth.
means?
Yes, omnibenevolent means God being merciful, being great, being rahmah.
All
We
good,
basically,
infinitely
yeah.
good, right?
Yes, of course, of course.
So
So
if you're
basically in Islam,
infinitely
we
good,
yes,
then you
yeah.
desire there to be no evil.
My
No,
gosh,
I
it's
don't
not.
desire to be no. I mean, I don't. Of course, we
Look,
wish
if
that
you're
there were no
infinitely
evil,
good,
but
then you would want to bring about the best
No,
possible world, right?
no, no.
life on earth is not meant to be permanent. Hence, why we go through these evils, these
You're not
problems.
addressing what I'm
Exactly.
saying, sir.
Yeah, you're
You're
not
not
If you're
understanding.
understanding what I'm
infinitely
saying.
good, then you would
Okay.
want to bring about the world that's the best one, right?
Oh my God. Okay, I think I'm going to have to reverse that a bit. I'm sorry. You need to understand this from the Islamic perspective, because you're not getting it,
Sir, why
right?
are
I'm
you not?
sorry.
Why can't you answer a
You're
fucking
not
goddamn
getting it.
question?
You're absolutely not getting it. Okay, I
No,
need to
you're not getting it,
reverse you.
sir.
I'm sorry, but you are not getting it. Please let me speak. All right, at the very least.
You already
Okay, thank
rambled
you.
on, and it was like really boring.
Mm.
I like let you go on
Well,
for a long time
I
with your
can't help
nonsense,
it
and it
if you
wasn't
think that I'm
addressing the
boring, but I'm
argument.
addressing your points. I'm addressing your points. Please
No, you
give
didn't.
me
I
the
let
chance to
you
speak.
ramble on. It was like for a full minute, and you weren't addressing anything I said, and I allowed it anyway. Like the audience is probably fucking bored
You know how frustrating it
with
was
that
during
shit.
that time.
Then,
But
but
look,
I mean,
do you believe that God is omnibenevolent?
oh my God.
My
You wouldn't give
This
her a
is
God.
straight
very
answer.
difficult
You
again.
should
I
have
mean,
said
this
yes.
has
Oh
You should have
my
said yes.
God.
no, because the reason why I didn't say yes is because I didn't want to, I was trying to, go 5 or 10 steps ahead of her. I don't want to, fall into some trap that she may have set for me. So that is why I have to set the position first, my position first, so that, and she has to play to my tune instead of me playing to her tune. You see, she's trying to set the tone. See, and I refuse to follow her tone. So this is something I learned from my experience with Tjam. So yeah, so that is
Mhm.
why I did what I did. All right.
No,
So
no, but
because
imagine.
yeah,
Okay, I can see the trap. So you say
yeah, yeah,
it's got on the benevolent, and
yes,
then you
yes,
say then you
yes,
say yes, and then she
yes,
says, but
yes,
what
yes,
about all this evil
yes.
stuff?
That's
And
right. That's right.
then you can
That's right.
answer a question. And
Exactly.
actually, that would have been
Exactly.
better than you not answering a question because it just got her angry, and a lot of people might not have got it.
Yeah. I
Why
mean, oh my God.
I was not answering the question
That
directly.
is why
But
you
it would
saw
have
me,
been
right?
safe
I
for you,
was so
in my view,
frustrated.
to
Yeah.
say yes.
If I had said
Because
yes,
it's
yeah.
kind of like,
If I had said yes, I might have gone another way. It might have gone into
yeah.
something worse. You see, I don't know. So
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't know, but she wanted you to say yes so she can
yes,
throw everything at you. Like, then what do
exactly, exactly,
what about all these terrible wars and the atrocities and the blah
exactly,
and the
exactly.
blah? And then you say,
That
well,
is why she was frustrated with me, because I refused to play her game. You see, that
yeah,
is why.
but
Yeah,
you have
yeah,
a ready answer for that because the whole bargain with God is that God, if He
yeah.
exists, will put it right in
Yes,
this life or the next,
exactly,
and that
exactly,
is what we have
exactly.
to believe, and we need to
Yes, of
believe in
course,
it in order
of
for
course.
us to solve our
I don't know.
problems and for
Yeah. I
individual
guess
members to
I
be able
didn't.
to.
I don't know. I didn't. I guess it didn't cross my mind to go to play her tune, because I
Yeah.
just wanted to set the tone for myself. You see, so that is
Yes.
why. Yeah,
Yes. But the thing is, I imagine the audience wouldn't have understood what you were trying to do, and they would have interpreted your refusing to answer the question as prevarication, and
Yes,
it's
yeah. I think
this
some
is
of
very
them did. Yeah, I think some of
subjective.
them did. In fact, I can see someone in the comments suggesting this, and later I will address his comments. But yeah, so yeah, so what do you think of that anyway? Just now.
Well, I thought it's revealing, and also, I hope you don't be disheartened, even though they're
Yeah,
very rude. You
yeah.
you'll
I'm
you'll only
okay.
get
I'm
better the
okay.
more you do it, and you can
I hope so.
understand a
I
lot
hope so.
instead of more.
God willing, I will get better. I mean, I know that in order to get better, you need to get involved in these debates, no matter how messy they are. So yeah, I'll still
Yeah, yeah,
continue. Yeah,
yeah.
I'll still continue. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So yeah. So maybe I can. You want? Can I play some of the comments here? Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
please do, please do.
Yeah. Right. LOL, why she uses sir and immediately curses for no reason. Yeah. Only God knows. Only God knows. Only God knows. All right. Okay. Bruh, this is the first time I saw someone say they won a debate and destroy the opponent. Well, it's not a surprising thing. Some of these militant atheists actually claim this, right? So um, well, your debate was Tijam was pretty bad. Yes, I would be the first to concede that it went quite badly actually. But I've learned from that. I've come up from it, and I've decided to move on. And yeah. So maybe Claire, you would like to say something about this?
Yeah, yeah. About my suggestion. I mean, this is something that I do. It's like, okay, I did it once with Jordan Peterson being interviewed by a hostile Kathy Newman, and basically, you just go through the interview. You
Yes.
listen to their questions, and then you think,
Yes.
well, I would have answered in this or that way, and you
Yes.
answer
Yes.
it, and you type it down so you have the words ready to
Yes.
hand. So next time you can use it, because it's usually the same set pieces
Yes.
about
Exactly.
the kind of question, and
Yep.
the more clearly and succinctly you make it, the more likely it is to be
Yep.
remembered by the
Yep.
audience.
Yep.
and
I
and
agree
and
with you.
and so I would suggest, go back to each rude question or whatever and say, in the calmness of my solitude, but how I should have answered it was
Yes.
whatever,
Yes. Yes.
and
That's right. Yep.
this actually does mean, but you have transcripts on YouTube anyway,
Yes. Yes.
so
That's right.
so
That's right.
you can quickly get those questions, and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's my only
Yeah, I think
suggestion.
you're right. I think you're right. I should go back and do a reflection on what she said, and see whether there's a counter argument to a proper one to anything that she said. Even though, yeah, of course I've answered them, but maybe another way of looking at it, for example, right?
Yeah, and a quick
Okay.
one, because if
Yeah.
it's a long,
Yeah.
I mean, what she said, oh, I let you ramble on for 5 minutes and you still haven't answered my question.
Well,
That
I let her curse and scream and rage, so it's fair, right? Yeah, you remember. Yeah. Okay. So
yes,
if I allowed her to scream and rage and curse, why can't she allow me the benefit of rambling for at least 5 minutes? You see? Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, yes,
Yeah.
but I suppose the point is that if you have a short and snappy answer, the audience will remember it. You
Yes.
see, and,
Understood.
and if it's a
Understood.
long, complicated, I mean, E.A. Dawa Khalil, I watched his reasoning, and it's like it's really
Yes.
long-winded, and nobody can remember it.
She actually name dropped brother Khalil's name several times actually
Uh,
in the earlier part of this debate. She kept comparing me to Khalil. She said, "Oh, you're nothing like Khalil," and I mean, I'm not Khalil. Of course, I'm nothing like him. Why would I want to be like him? You see? So, I mean, and she was just trying to be antagonizing. So,
Yeah,
but
well, I think you're better because you speak more clearly. Because Khalil is
I
like,
hope so.
"What are
I
you
hope
on
so.
about? I don't even know." I mean, literally me. It's like unless you have a degree in philosophy, you won't
Yeah.
know how what he's talking about,
Yes, exactly, exactly.
and and, and
I
you
don't. Yeah.
you
So
speak plainly anyway.
yeah, you see, the thing is, I try not to go into philosophy too much because I just want it to be understood in layman terms,
Yes.
and it should be easy to understand, to be understood by everyone, regardless whether you have a degree in philosophy or not. So that
Mm.
is why I kept my answers. If you notice, I kept my answers to her very simple. I don't even try to point out, oh, this is a fallacy, that is a fallacy. Although I did notice that she did commit many logical fallacies, but I don't go and point them out, because that's not the point of explanation. You need to explain. That is why, I reverse back, I explain the point, even though it was a rambling 5-minute thing, but I still tried to explain, right? So, and I tried to dumb it down for her in layman terms, and for the audience as well. So that is why hence the rambling. Okay. So yeah. So okay. Anyway, I'm going to play a few more comments. This is a fan of hers, I think. No, she did not. Sorry, I'm sorry to disappoint you, Alika, but she did not. All right. Okay. Right. If you are Rahim, you should act Rahim at all times. No, you don't have to. You don't have to. Why makes you think that God, being all good and all omnibenevolent, needs to stop evil from the world, when the point of us being on earth is to go through such evil, you see, in the first place? This is all part of God's plan. And this is something you atheists will never understand, because you think that life is a box of chocolates and it will be filled with lollipops and roses and gifts and so on, right until the end of your lives, when that is most certainly not the case. And that you will not be held accountable for anything that you do while you're here on earth. And this is definitely not the Muslim paradigm. Okay, this is not the Muslim understanding of life. Hence, that was why I tried to point out to her many, many times that life is a test, and she still couldn't get it. So, oh my God. Okay, I keep remembering that she was. Oh my God. Okay. Right. So this is next one. Gamer girl is a troll. She was trying to. Yes, I agree with you, because at the end of it, after the debate, she actually apologized to me. So I think for her, this whole debate was just this whole cursing and f bombs. This was all one great performance for her. Okay. So I think actually in her normal life, she probably didn't care about whether God exists or not. She just wants to go through her life with her husband and baby, and she doesn't really care about God or whatever. It's just that when she's on stage, she puts on this persona of being an aggressive, insulting individual. But I don't think in real life she's like this. At least I hope she's not. Okay, it wouldn't be good for the baby.
For the baby.
The poor baby, Yeah.
Well, I've invited her to discuss, well, to be on a stream with me to discuss the debate she had with
Oh,
you. I haven't
okay.
heard from her. I emailed her a few days ago, so
All
I
right.
may never hear from her. But
All
don't
right.
feel betrayed if you see us on the stream,
Yes.
which
All right.
probably won't happen anyway, I suspect.
Yes, that's right. Okay, right. Yeah, understood. Right. So yeah, I guess we have to wrap this up, I guess, unless you want to continue.
No, I've more or less said what I wanted to say. Really,
Yeah, I
it's
think
just understanding.
yeah. Oh, by the way, friendly Muslim is here. He said, "Salam, bro. Have you the stream lately?" I'm sorry, Aki. I think I'm actually going to have to wrap this up, because it's already 10:46 p.m. and in Malaysia, and it's late, and I need to sleep now, because tomorrow I need to wake up for work. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, Aki. Probably next time, Aki. I do apologize for having to end this. All right. All right. So yeah. So there's another one. She's probably like this in real life. I hope not. I really hope not, for the baby's sake. Okay. For the baby's sake, I really hope not.
Yes, you can imagine its first words.
Baby's first words is "f you."
F you, sir.
Oh my God, I hope not, man. I really truly hope not, for the baby's sake. I really hope not. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, a friendly Muslim says, "No problem, brother. Next time." Yeah, I hope so. Next time, brother, inshallah. All right. I'm sorry again. I'm sorry, Aki, for having to end this. All right, because it's very late right now in Malaysia. I understand that in London I think it's about 3 p.m. right now in London.
Yes, it's nearly 4. It's
Yeah. Oh,
3:48.
oh, okay, all right. It's almost 4. Yeah, unfortunately here it's 10:48 p.m. So, all right. So yeah. So I guess that's all for now. Thank you very much for watching the live stream. Thank you, Claire, for joining me.
Thank you for
Yes.
streaming with me.
Yes, yeah, I do enjoy your take on this. I know that you're an agnostic, but yeah, you have always been proven yourself to be fair and and calm. You're
Well,
nothing like this.
I'm
This
basically saying Sharia would be better for these people than,
yes,
they're corrupt and
yes,
incompetent politicians. And,
yes,
and
yes.
that's
Understood,
basically my line. And
understood,
they hate it.
understood, understood. And I respect you for that. I do respect you for that. So anyway, thank you very much,
Thank you.
everyone else. Yeah, and if you like my channel, please do not forget to subscribe. If you like this video, please do not forget to share. And yeah, please tell everyone about me. Please don't tell anyone about God Let's Go. And yeah, and hope to see you again.
All right.
So basically, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.